Hey there, welcome to the Lucimere. It's me, I'm here. Welcome to the Lucimere channel. Welcome to your weekly guidance. What is the message that Spirit has for you this week for you to move with grace, peace, and for your highest good? I like that. I should say that more often. But that's really the message here. If you clicked on this, and this might be a message for you. So I hope that you can take a second to sit with the message, hear what it has to say, and allow the week to unfold, keeping the message of the week in mind. Okay, for what your spirit guide wants to say, or if you're going through a certain moment in your life right now, this is a message that you might need to hear. So, Spirit, what is the message that you have to say for the person watching this right now? For the person that was inclined to click on this video and watch it, what is something that you would like to say to them to give them guidance towards their highest good? Okay. This kind of reminds me of the saying that goes like, all decisions don't have to be hard won. I feel like when it comes to making the choices that you need to make this week, you can be flexible. I feel like this is also with boundaries. Choices can be boundaries. And by boundaries, I don't mean like hard lines in the sand. I just mean like the actual like perimeter, like the boundaries, like this is a boundary, right? Of this card. This is a boundary of a card, and it's meant to stay within these lines. But there's this sort of flexible little line here that it can go a little bit out of the line. So I feel like this week, in a certain situation, or maybe just in your life, this message is saying, hey, you can have your boundaries, but make sure that you're flexible with your boundaries as well. Sometimes boundaries change. Sometimes the things that we say we want or wanted at some point may no longer be things that sit with us. Maybe something where after we see reason or after we are exposed to something else, something new, then we are a lot more flexible with how we live and how we move. I'm really picking up that when it comes to the choices that you make, allow yourself some breathing room. Allow yourself some time even. Allow yourself some space to make mistakes. Allow yourself some space to not act so impulsively. Because, I said this and I have to do it. It's like, no, baby, you said this and you will do it, but be open to how it's done. Be open to how you get there. Be open to the timing and fluidity that it takes for you to get to where you're going. This could work in relationships as well. Having your boundaries, but also being flexible with them and bending every so often. Not bending all the time, absolutely not. This is still definitely having your boundaries and respecting your boundaries so others know to respect your boundaries, but also like definitely being a lot more fluid with them. With chopped wood here, it talks about doing the basics, not doing the most. It talks about doing the basics, just following 1, 2, 3. So there's something here about taking your time. There's something here about even trusting in divine timing and having a strong idea of where you want to go, of what you want, and also being flexible with how you get there. Being not lucid, but I don't know, being I'm hearing a you'll get there when you get there. But I feel like it's like we'll get there when we'll get there. That's like a we energy I'm getting up here. But I feel like it's some things aren't hard won. Some things do take time. But with this, I feel like Spirit is saying you will get there. You just don't have to use force. And you don't have to use force with yourself. You don't have to push down doors and knock down other boundaries and other mountains. You don't have to attack them. You can chip at them away with some water and the fluidity of water, which will, slowly erode whatever's around you. And in time, by just doing the basics, just following the flow of things, you'll find yourself where you ultimately sort of wanted to be, which is really nice. Like I am getting from this message that, hey, you will get there. Spirit is saying, hey, baby, you'll get there. Like you'll get to where you're going. You'll get to what you want. You'll get to your desire. But there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. There's more than one way to get there. There's more than one way to reach your goal, and it may not be the road that you've always known it to be. It may not be this hard line that you've drawn in the sand that you've always wanted. You might even have to revisit a certain boundary or structure or idea or thought that you've had for yourself and see if it still aligns with where you're at and where you want to go. You know, sometimes we make decisions and we go, okay, this is the decision I've made and it serves us for 20 years, 25 years, but then we're breached with new circumstances, a new life experience. 20 years, you change a lot in that time. And you want to look at things and say, okay, where am I with this? Where can I bend, or where can I tighten things even? Where can I continue chipping away at something? Where can I, allow some fluidity? Where can I go beyond the boundaries and maybe enhance the area that I'm in? I've allowed myself to play in, Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I feel like chop wood is really just like things will take time, and that's good. That's good because I feel like there is a certain force here that is making you stop and look around. There's, a freight train in front of you that's driving by that's making you stop your car and catch your breath. Maybe you're on your way to a presentation and you really want to succeed at this presentation and you're rushing to get there on time, and now there's this freight train. You can't fight a freight train, baby. It's over there. It's going to take some time, 10 minutes. So you stop your car, you save your gas, maybe you pull out your notes, or you do some breathing exercises. You listen to a meditative video, and that freight train, and as much as it was a nuisance, a bloody nuisance, you feel more calmer because now you sort of surrendered to the situation and you do well at your presentation is what I'm getting here, because you're so calm and people compliment you on your calmness. I feel like there really is something here about doing like the basics, not doing the most. But there is also something here about doing the most. I don't know how to explain that. Yeah, can you tell me about that? What am I picking up about doing the most? What is that? What are you trying to tell me? Mending. Okay. Mending. Bless you. Okay. When it comes to doing the most, I feel like it's I'm picking up this sort of like aggressively doing something. Because I'm seeing like the Knight of Swords in my head. There's something here about, I want to say aggressively healing for some of you. Tell me more about this. Okay, aggressively healing. Soulmates in reverse. So something that came into your world, broke you apart, or something that is a rocky relationship that is healing. It's just not telling me what this has to do with being aggressive. Doing the most. Is it you doing the most, or is it someone else doing the most towards you? Spirit, tell me more. Thank you. Just tell me more on this aggressive tip. Building blocks. Okay. It's the same message that's sort of coming out. Building blocks in reverse is almost like you're not ready. So I feel like this aggressive energy is being aggressively passive. Yeah. Being aggressively passive. This energy feels like with that freight train, you have to sort of force yourself to not freak out. And even if you have a freak out session, the freight train is still there. It's not going to make it go away. And there's this surrender that comes towards after this sort of like pop, this freak out. And it allows you to, it forces you to, it urges you, there we go, to heal, to put the pieces back together. This time is quite possibly a time that you really want to get through. You want to get to the end. You want to move. You want to move. You want to move. You want to move to get to the end point. To get to the end point. But this energy is saying no. This energy is saying it's needed for you to calm down and reflect and look at things differently. Okay? Because something new is going to be born from this. You are changing and you are going to change. There could have been a relationship, a person, place or thing or event, quite possibly a person, that has impacted you in a certain way, a relationship, how you relate to them, and how that then in turn relates to you, aka this whole boundary thing. And that has informed how you move for so long. But now there's a call to move differently. I've said this really is a message just repeating itself. It's just the aggressiveness behind that is in perhaps how you're pushing to heal, how you're pushing to get over it, how you're pushing to get to the end of these feelings, these emotions, this area in you, but you can't rush it. Like, you can't rush the process. You are at where you're at. Allow yourself to be where you're at. The freight train is in front of you, baby. It's not going nowhere except where it's going, and it's going to get there when it's done. And you will be calmer for it. Okay? I feel like that's just really something that I have to say. And if this is something to do with a relationship that you want to progress, some part of you that you want to get over, some part of you that you want to move through, a phase, a hurt, a pain, you can't force it. It is moving. It is moving through you. You are healing. You will be healed, whatever that fucking looks like. But don't rush your own process. Be flexible in how you allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself some breathing room to make mistakes. Be gentle with yourself, I'm seeing. Because now, again, this is awesome. Like, you can't rush it. Let me read this to you in reverse, right? The protection message for building blocks. You are building yourself, right? You're rebuilding. You're looking at there's more than one way to move. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And this is a beautiful thing. Now is the time to address the cracks in the foundations of your life. Perhaps your values have changed, which is what we were talking about. And it's time to strengthen your convictions and let go of things that no longer serve the vision you have for your life. Or perhaps you chose to ignore the signs that a situation or agreement you entered into is just not right for you. Remove the rotten pieces and reinforce your core moral strength and integrity. Now is the time for rigorous honesty, for you are called to renovate and upgrade your consciousness. You'll be so happy when you do. Damn, one card literally sums up the whole message. You'll be so happy when you do. Spirit has a spectacular blueprint for your life, far beyond your imagination. Don't be afraid to replace what's not solid. And I love that because it does take us back to the fork in the road. If there's some decisions that you've made in the past, like, stop crucifying yourself over them. Be flexible with those things. If you've been hurt by someone in the past and your coping mechanisms have stuck with you, or, even if it's the same person that's coming back around, or whatever the case may be, similar situation, a job, whatever, if you've been wounded by someone in the past, and you had to develop certain coping mechanisms to survive in that situation, allow yourself to bend and break from those coping mechanisms and find your way back to center. Find your way back to a place that is truer to who you are, not a reaction to that circumstance. But if it is a reaction to that circumstance, then look at the gift in that. Look at what you can take away, not what you can take away and add to your moral ground. You can add to yourself. And what you can allow yourself to say, you know what, actually that experience gave me this, and I can't trust anybody, I'm not going to trust anybody. I wouldn't say that's a good thing, but I would say that experience taught me this. I'm going to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to people. I'm going to give them a lot more time before I completely throw myself in with them or completely align myself with their values, their beliefs, or their ethos, right? If it's whatever it is that you're dealing with, company, job, interviews, whatever, even when it comes to relationships. So you're just a lot more careful because what you experienced has given you sort of these things to consider and add to yourself, but not to completely break who you are, who you've been. It's to mold yourself more into a person that has experienced these things, has learned from them, but is still that core beautiful being that wasn't completely rocked and changed by those ugly circumstances. Okay? That's the spirit message for you this week. I hope it served you. I'm trying to reach a goal of I need 200 more subscribers, bro. So if you're not subscribed, consider it. Consider it and consider, watching the videos when they pop up. I really want to reach this goal before the end of the year, but I don't think I will. Anyway, this is timeless, so it may not matter to you if you're watching this in the far future. But I appreciate you watching nevertheless, whether you subscribe or not, whether I see you again or not. But I appreciate you. Keep your light on, honey, and good luck.